Now, just moments ago, we got an update from the White House about Special Envoy Steve Witkoff's trip to Israel. It answers a question NBC's Matt Bradley raised just a couple of minutes ago on this show. Take a listen.
Tomorrow, Special Envoy Witkoff and Ambassador Huckabee will be traveling into Gaza to inspect the current distribution sites and secure a plan to deliver more food and meet with local Gazans to hear firsthand about this dire situation on the ground. The Special Envoy and the Ambassador will brief the President immediately after their visit to approve a final plan for food and aid distribution into the region. And we will provide more details for all of you once that plan is approved and agreed on by the President of the United States.
Let's bring in NBC senior White House correspondent Garrett Haake. And my question is if we have any other details. Did she say anything else? Obviously, there are people who question whether or not someone who is involved in this conflict, i.e. Israel, is the one who should be both putting a plan together, helping put a plan together, but also are they the ones who are going to show Mr. Witkoff exactly what's going on? What exactly do we know?
Well, Chris, the question and answer portion of the briefing is just beginning, so we will hopefully get more details soon. But I think your question goes in the correct direction here, which is how exactly could this work? Remember, this all grew out of the president over the weekend saying that he wanted to set up food distribution centers in Gaza without barriers, he said, clearly affected by the pictures he's been seeing of famine, of starving people in Gaza as this war drags on there. What was announced today is surprising. The idea that you'd have major American figures going into Gaza and having the White House tell us in advance that it's happening suggests to me that they will be kept in a security bubble, which may also preclude them from seeing the kind of devastation that they might need to see to make the best possible report to the president on the path forward. As for who could actually administer the kind of food aid that we're talking about, right now, the U.S. isn't in a position to do it. We don't have the assets there. Very few NGOs, those are non-governmental organizations, are in a position to do it. It's really a situation where Israel, which controls all of Gaza's border and the access points in and out, may be the only entity that can do this. And so you're left with essentially bad options if you are Ambassadors Witkoff and Huckabee. But this will be, I think, a very closely watched tour and a very closely watched briefing. They will then give to the president to see how, if at all, he can follow through on his promise over the weekend from Scotland.
Garrett Haake, thank you for that.